Now, yung sinasabi nila na pinirmahan ni Tatay Digong is RA 11552, which is the expanded lifeline rate. Wait, expanded lifeline rate? Ibig sabihin, may original lifeline rate na the law just expanded. Kailan yung original law ng lifeline rate? Do you know when? This was passed in... Wait. 20... Expanded lifeline rate. This was passed in the EPIRA law in 2001. So, dun sa mga nagsasabing pinirmahan niya ni Tatay Digong, you look at the original law, the lifeline rate was established in 2001 under the EPIRA law. Now, what is the lifeline rate? Binibigyan ng, ina-allow nila yung marginalized end users na socialized yung kanilang electricity bill. Anong ibig sabihin ng socialized? Mas mababa yung rate nila. Ang rate nila, cross-subsidy charge is, 10%. Yun yung binabayaran natin. But, iba yung rate ng mga marginalized sectors who are consuming 100 kilowatt hours per month or less. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Bakit itong mga consumers like senior citizens or families consuming 100 kilowatt hours or less, why do they get subsidies? Bahagi ito ng poverty alleviation and eradication policy ni Presidente Duterte. The expanded lifeline rate was passed in May 27, 2021. Pero I will take note, please take note, expanded lifeline rate. Ibig sabihin may lifeline rate na tayo before since 2001. Hindi po si Tatay Digong ang nag-establish ng lifeline rate. However, in-expand ito in 2021 through a bill filed by Senator Gatchalian. At dinagdagan yung lifeline rate lifetime for another 50 years kasi dapat mag-expire na po yun. Ang topic natin ngayong araw na ito, dalawang aspeto ng Meralco Bill natin na tila nagdudulot ng shock sa mga consumers. Now, both items in the electric bill, maliwanag na matagal na po itong nakatala. Kumbaga, the law that created these provisions in our electric bill were long-standing laws already. Start tayo with the senior citizens nasa na yan? Ayan, senior citizens subsidy. Makikita natin doon sa ating electric bill, mayroong tinatawag na senior citizen subsidy. Ginagrantan nito ng 5% discount ang mga qualified elderly residents para mabawasan ang kanilang mga electric bills. Ang senior citizens kasi, since they are usually limited, either fixed income, meaning pensionado sila and they have no additional sources of income, are targets for subsidies talaga or for other social services ng ating gobyerno, given the limited capabilities of our senior citizens. Now, sino ang mga qualified para dito sa 5% discount na ito? Senior citizens whose monthly who are named in the bill, living senior citizens who are named in the bill and who consume less than 100 kilowatt hours per month. Just to give you an idea of 100 kilowatt hours, basically that's about, ilan bang ilaw yon? 3 na ilaw and 1 electric fan. Yun yung dati, I have to double check to make sure about that. But 100 kilowatt hours yan. Maliit lang talaga yon. Teka. Yan. So, maliit lang talaga. Most of us consume something on the average of, okay, so yon. So maliit lang yung ang purpose. Ang purpose nito is of course to target particularly marginalized sectors or particularly marginalized populations or people para matulungan sila. This helps, it's a form of poverty alleviation. So, saan nanggagaling yan? Ito ay isa sa tinatawag na pass-through rates. Kailan na-establish ang senior citizen subsidy? This was established through RA 9994, which is the Expanded Senior Citizens Act of 2010. Okay. So, yes, I am aware of what the other side is saying. So, sino ang nagbabayad nito? Ang nagbabayad ito ay pinapass on or tinatawag nila na pass-through rate. Hindi po yung electricity providers ang nagbabayad nito. Ang nagbabayad nito ay pinapasa doon sa mga tao who consume more than 100 kilowatt hours. Sabi ni Memory Lane, pinirmahan po ba yan ni Tatay Digong? No, the Expanded Senior Citizens Act was passed in 2010. Okay? So hindi po si Tatay Digong ang pumirma ng Expanded Senior Citizens Act of 2010. Okay. Isang form ito ng poverty alleviation, and we will talk about poverty alleviation later on. I-explain natin yan. Now, yung sinasabi nila na pinirmahan ni Tatay Digong is RA 11552, which is the expanded lifeline rate. Wait, expanded lifeline rate? Ibig sabihin, may original lifeline rate na the law just expanded. Kailan yung original law ng lifeline rate? Do you know when? This was passed in, wait. 20, expanded lifeline rate. This was passed in the EPIRA law in 2001. So dun sa mga nagsasabing pinirmahan niya ni Tatay Digong, you look at the original law, the lifeline rate was established in 2001 under the EPIRA law. Now, what is the lifeline rate? Binibigyan ng, ina-allow nila yung marginalized end users na socialized yung kanilang electricity bill. Anong ibig sabihin ng socialized? Mas mababa yung rate nila. Ang rate nila, cross-subsidy charge is, 10%. Yun yung binabayaran natin. But, iba yung rate ng mga marginalized sectors who are consuming 100 kilowatt hours per month or less. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Bakit itong mga consumers like senior citizens or families consuming 100 kilowatt hours or less, why do they get subsidies? Bahagi ito ng poverty alleviation and eradication policy ni Presidente Duterte. The expanded lifeline rate was passed in May 27, 2021. Pero I will take note, please take note, expanded lifeline rate. Ibig sabihin may lifeline rate na tayo before since 2001. Hindi po si Tatay Digong ang nag-establish ng lifeline rate. However, in-expand ito in 2021 through a bill filed by Senator Gatchalian. At dinagdagan yung lifeline rate lifetime for another 50 years kasi dapat mag-expire na po yun. So, anong ibig sabihin nito? Which it means that marginalized sectors will still enjoy a socialized or kumbaga mas mababa ang rate of electricity nila. Yung balanse is passed through or passed on to those who consume more than 100 kilowatt hours per month. In other words, pinapasa dun sa mga may kayang magbayad. Now, what is the poverty alleviation and eradication policy of former President Duterte? He established free tertiary education, he established universal healthcare, and yes, he supported the expanded lifeline rate. In-expanded niya yung at idinikit ang mga ito sa 4-piece program. In other words, sa 4-piece program ito, nadidetermine kung sino ang maaaring mag-benefit dito sa socialized electricity rate. Sabi ni Baby Ten, okay po, pero paano naman tayong nagbabayad? Bakit di sa tax nila kunin ang tulong sa indigents? Kasi ma'am, tayo din po ang magbabayad kung sa tax yan kinukuha. Okay, so one way or another, we're going to pay for it, whether it is through taxes or through the pass-through rate. Now, bakit nagkaroon ng pass-through rate? Hindi yan mabiblame kay Tatay Digong. Bakit? Sa resulta yan ng lobbying ng power sector with the legislature. Yung mga pass-through rate na yan, matagal na po yan ginagawa. Hindi lang po noong 2001, hindi lang po noong 2021, hindi lang po noong wherever, yung 2001. Okay? Lahat yan ay ginagawa na ng power sector ever since. So, kung nagagalit kayo, imagine nyo lang nung kung kailan pinasa yung mga batas na yan, nag-object din ang mga end users. That's you and me. Those are the consumers who were already alive then or were already of voting age during the time when the lobbies of the power sectors asked for the pass-through rates. Ibig sabihin, willing sila mag-subsidize, willing sila na, o sige, i-socialize natin para sa indigents, pero hindi kami ang magbabayad, sabi ng power sector. Okay? So, it was the lobby. Now, anybody who wants to blame Tatay Digong for that, they can go ahead and do so, but we know better. Bakit? Dahil nga, kailangan basagin ang poverty. Bakit? If people are poor, a lot of our resources, as what's happening now, goes into helping them. But usually, when yung mga help na yan comes, well, rather late. For example, healthcare. They could get better, they would be in better health if we lift the families out of poverty, and there will be less demands on healthcare, less demands on hospitals, less demands on curing their diseases rather than preventing them. Bukod pa dyan, those who are on high poverty rate usually comes with a high unemployment rate, which means that there will also be a consequent high crime rate. So you want to help alleviate poverty because poverty alleviation benefits all of us. Lower crime rate, less demands on government institutions such as but not limited to healthcare, public education, and so on. Naiintindihan ko yung galit ninyo. Naiintindihan ko because I am one of those who are paying these pass-through rates. I am one of those who feel the burden lalo na in times like this. Kaya natin tinignan ang ating electric bill dahil tumaas ang presyo ng gasolina, ng krudo, at pinapasa ng power sector yan sa atin. Now, the question is, how much can the power sector pass to us? Okay? So, yung lifeline rate na yan and the senior citizen subsidy are, we understand that because it goes into poverty alleviation. But, did you look at the other aspects of the bill, such as, but not limited to, yung foreign currency adjustment rate? Ano yan? Anong ibig sabihin ng foreign currency adjustment rate? It means na, kunwari, power company X, umutang yan to expand their services. Yung utang na yan is usually in dollars. So, kapag nagpalit yung exchange rate at tumaas ang presyo ng dollars, meaning bumaba yung value ng peso, tayo ang nagbabayad ng difference. Okay? Huwag tayong magagalit dun sa subsidies, dun sa 4Ps because we understand that. Plus, if you look at that, it is, ano ba yun? Maliit lang eh. Ang ating subsidy is cross-subsidy charge, 10 centavos per kilowatt hour. Doon sa lifeline, sa expanded lifeline rate. Tapos doon sa senior citizens, it's 0.0001 centavos per kilowatt hour. Okay? So, sabi ni Dato Ron, grabe naman yan, 100 kilowatt hours per month. Sana naman ginawa lang 300 to 500. But look, ang sinasubsidize lang yung super marginalized. We're talking about people in the very low poverty with very, how do you call this? In areas where the poverty rate is close to absolute. Kasi hindi natin ma-afford i-subsidize hanggang sa 300 to 500. Remember, these are pass-through rates. Now, bakit nilalabi nila yung pass-through ng mga power companies? Kasi ayaw nila na sila yung magbayad. Okay, so let's look at there are other rates in the power bill that have nothing to do with Duterte, pero yun ang dapat kinagagalit natin. Unfortunately, yung foreign currency adjustment rate, yan po ay nakapasa sa Korte Suprema. So now we are going to have to look to other areas. Okay. Yes, sabi ni Ma'am Marisa, pino-point out lang niya, ang 4Ps, pag kumonsumo ka ng 50 kilowatt hours, pag 50 kilowatt hours, kasi the loss is 100. So, I assume na bago na yung sa 4Ps, 50 kilowatt hours na lang. Hindi na din yun free. Magbabayad sila ng socialized rate above the cut-off. O isa pa yan, tama si JIHQ. How about naman po the NPC stranded debt charge? Correct. Bakit pinapataw sa konsumo pagbayad sa utang? Agree ako dyan. Kasi yung debt na yan usually ay kumukuha sila ng debt or they incur debt supposedly for the expansion of services. Pero kailangan binabantayan yan. Totoo bang expansion of services? Or minsan, saan ba talaga ginagamit yung debt na yan? Bago nila ipasa sa consumer, kailangan alam natin at sigurado tayo that it goes into expansion of services rather than, whatever kaartehan. So tama po kayo dyan. So yun ang titignan natin. Stranded debt, foreign currency adjustment. Maybe we can ask the court to have a look again at these charges and why these are allowed to be passed to the consumer. Anong kinalaman naman natin sa mga ganyan? That has nothing to do with the electricity charge, nothing to do with and it could also be related to the inefficiencies of the power companies. So hindi. Disagree po ako dyan, Daturon. Sabi niya, ang problema dyan sa poverty alleviation, hindi naman ramdam lalo na ngayon. That's not true, sir. Bilangin mo lang yung mga nagsasabi, yung mga nakatapos under the free tertiary education programs, okay, of the former president. Dito sa followers namin alone, ilan ang families na umahon sa kahirapan dahil may isa sa kanilang pamilya ang nakatapos sa college. So, hindi po ganyan eh. You don't say, hindi ko nararamdaman. Hindi, you have to look at the numbers. You have to look and talk to the people who have actually benefited from that. So, naiintindihan ko na mahirap talaga ang panahon ngayon. Lahat tayo hirap. As in, lahat. Pero poverty alleviation is something that we cannot ignore because tayo din ang mahihirapan with rising crime rates. Tayo din ang mahihirapan when so much of the social services goes to impoverished sectors because we cannot just let them suffer. 'Di ba? Hindi ganyan eh. Socialized talaga tayo in many respects. Ayan, sabi ni Jeng, tama ito. What about systems loss? What about transmissions? These are normal operating business costs na pinapasa sa consumer. I agree completely and totally. Bakit pinapasa yan sa atin? Meron pa, taxes. Yeah? Bakit pinapasa? Now, sa taxes, hindi po lahat ng power providers ay nakakapagpasa ng taxes, but there are certain companies that do. So, siguro that's another, kasi medyo complicated yung which ones get it, which ones can pass it, and which ones cannot. Okay, eyewear. All right. Pero mag-glare eh. Kaya hindi ko sinusuot sometimes. Mag-glare kasi ang ating ilaw. Hindi talaga natin isa-subsidize yung mga may aircon, sir. Hi, kay Trebla. Thank you very much. Sino pa ba? Thank you kay Mayna. Uy, maraming salamat. Kay Mariano, thank you very much din po. And sino pa ba? Ma'am Gracia, thank you. Guys, I will remind you, just because we're online doesn't mean you can be rude. May nagtatanong, opinion mo. Pag ginanon ako, hindi ko po talaga sasagutin yan. Hindi talaga kita papansinin. Because most of the people here, when they ask their questions, hindi po nila nakakalimutan yung kanilang etiquette. Sabi ni Memory Lane, bakit hindi pa kasuhan si Trillanes? Wait lang, bakit bakit mas nagmamadali kayo kaysa dun sa mga victims? Wait lang po. Thank you kay Daddy Mers. Tama. Sabi ni Ma'am Kendra, majority of the increase is due to fuel costs which is needed to produce electricity and due to the weak peso. Correct. Kaya lang, napansin lang po yung bill na dahil hirap nga, karamihan, and I understand, di ba? Hirap na tayo, so you check your bill. Bakit biglang may ganito? But actually, hindi natin lang napansin. Ilang taon na po yan nandyan. And these are usually mandated by law. Sabi ni Miss Lovely, instead na ninanakaw sana nila through maleta, binigay na lang sana nila para makatulong sa bills. Pero imagine ninyo, hindi ba parang tax subsidy yan to the power companies? Eh, ang laki na nga ng kinikita nila. Ako, I don't mind paying for yung mga ganyan subsidies. Isipin nyo, sa senior citizens, 0.0001 centavo per kilowatt hour lang yan. Yung sa lifeline rate, medyo malaki kasi 10 centavos per kilowatt hour yan. But ako, I don't mind. Kung doon talaga pupunta, mas mabibigatan ako kung tax pa ako heavily para doon. Parang ang sinasubsidize natin yung power companies instead of the poorer sectors of society. It's just my opinion, pero that's certainly how it would feel to me. But again, pare-pareho tayong hirap. So I understand the frustration here. Kahit ako, kikita nyo, yun ang gusto ko sana mag-aircon buong araw, kaya lang hindi kakayanin. So, tis-tis ng electric fan sometimes. Or sometimes every day. Thank you kay Rand, 16. Bait naman ng ating mga Thank you very, very much for your continued support of Luminous C. Chris Sarak, thank you very much. Sabi niya, treats for the chickens from Montreal. Oh, thank you very much. The chickens will thank you, except they're all over my desk and they're sleeping. So, yes, sabi ni Sir Archie, 61 na ang dolyar, mahal gasolina, kaya mahal na ang kuryente. Totoo yan. But it's still not an excuse for the power companies to unfairly keep passing on to us yung kanilang mga costs. So, I agree with the anger. I disagree lang where it's directed. Pero tama, sina Ma'am Jeng, sina Sir dito, na yung mga stranded debt costs, transmission costs, these are business expenses na sana naman, in the US, well, at least when I was in law school, most of the US laws, they would disallow yung essential services na providers from passing on to the consumer certain things. Like taxes, hindi yan pinapasa. So dito sa Pilipinas, naipapasa yan. Ma'am Beth, sinagot ko naman po, wag niyo naman po akong sigawan. So, in-explain ko po yan. Lobby po yan ng power sector. Since hindi nila mapigil yung subsidies na yan, as long as hindi sila ang magbabayad. Sabi ni Chris, do you have any idea if Lacerda is replacing Claire? I am very sure that he is not. However, his name has been mentioned as sa DICT. But up to now, wala pa rin yung appointment. I know that his name has been mentioned for that. Thank you very much kay Jams. Jams, ano yan, Sunset? Thank you very, very much. Wow. Ang bilis na nasara kagad yung isa. Hi kay Ian Paul, thank you very, very much din po. Jam Sunset Beach, thank you very much po. Yan, sabi ni Bakute. Gusto nila di maaapektuhan ng tubo, kaya sila lahat ng issue kahit wala, sa tao pa din kukunin. I agree with this. Sabi ni Cedar, posible po ba na maging government-owned ang electricity natin? Or possible kaya na nagkaroon para mas mura na ang babayaran ng mga subscribers? I think it is possible. Nadenggoy kasi ang gobyerno noon pa lang. I understand, like you sa water, panahon ni Cory and then tumawid doon sa panahon ni FDR na somebody got the bright idea na i-privatize yung tubig. O ayan, ang laki-laki ng binabayaran natin for very limited services. So, ang electricity kasi hindi traditional, was almost always private. So it might take some doing, but I cannot say that it's impossible either, di ba? Thank you kay Jam Sunset Beach, kay Kendra, thank you very, very much. Oy. Sabi ni Jamal, nagsalita na si former BIR Commissioner Nares, bawal ang pagdadala ng ITR sa House Justice Committee, much more ang pagbubukas. Tama yon. Actually, tama siya. Pero although in fairness, yung BIR officials did not turn over the tax returns. They brought it and then they brought it back. Di ba? Yun ang pagkakaintindi ko. Thank you kay Ma'am Glenda. Oy. Yun, sabi ni Jerry, distribution charge, transmission charge, parang doble. Ang malala, yung systems loss. Agree, and super agree. Bakit pinapasa sa atin ang systems loss? Aba, mas dapat maging efficient sila. Bakit yung inefficiency pinapasa sa atin? Agree rin dito. Wala naman daw problema tumulong sa 4P. Sana lang wag naman lahat ipasa sa consumers more. Subsidy lang po. Hindi po tayo ang nagbabayad ng kuryente nila. Binabayaran lang po yung subsidy nila. Parang di nadagdagan na, kumbaga may konting abono lang. So, well, hindi pwedeng sabihin lang kasi 10 centavos per kilowatt hour din po ang nasisingil sa atin for that. And alam nyo, sa totoo lang, kung maganda sana ang ekonomiya, di natin mapapansin yan. However, di ba? Wala namang kasing nag-aasikaso, tulog yata yung mga nandun sa taas. Thank you very much kay Chris. Sabi niya for serve or serve fees. Thank you. Agree rin, Ma'am Beth. Yung Fit All at JEA All, taong bayan pa din pinagpapasahan. Agree. Renewable energy ng government din. Agree din po. Proyekto nila na di pa nauumpisan tapos tayo pa din magbabayad. Super agree din po. Wala akong ano dyan. Pero tignan niyo yung mga nasa kabilang panig ha. Ang pino-point out nila yung yung expanded lifeline rate ni na supposedly pinirmahan ni Tatay Digong. Pero hindi naman sila umaangal dun sa IPIRA law which was the original lifeline rate. Bakit yung kay Tatay Digong na pinirmahan ang pinag-iinitan nila? Biruin mo, mas malaki ang binabayaran sa mga other charges kesa sa konsumo mo sa bills, talagang aaray ang mga tao. Agree din po. Yes, sabi ni Gun Bananas, may batas po ba na nag-allow ang pagpasa sa mga consumer? Ba't di nag-react mga gobyerno? Ba't naman sila magre-react? Less work for them. Tama, sabi ni Hershey, kung si PRD pa presidente, baka na-call out naman yan, Meralco na yan, sabihin ibaba ang singil ng kuryente. Remember nung pandemic, nag-threaten si PRD, babaan nyo yan, kasi yung iba, di ba, dinelay yung pagsingil ng bills o ginawang average consumption ang dun sa, dahil dinelay nga yung sisingil dun sa bills. Nagalit si PRD kasi sabi niya, oy bakit ganyan? Diba, bakit ang tataas ng singil ninyo? Ayusin nyo yan. I remember this. Inano niya pa talaga, it was one of those sore points with him.
Kala nila
Sabi ni Chris, why can't they understand that subsidy is better than ayuda? Totoo yan. Mm. Sabi ni Champopot, Lin Wei-xiong during the pandemic, Pharmally. Well, Pharmally is now being charged. May kaso sila. Humaharap sila sa sa hukuman. Ano yung kinagagalit mo? Talagang yun ang binibring up mo, ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, kuryente. Bakit? Naghahanap kayo ng ibe-blame kay Tatay Digong? Kaloka kayo ha? Sige, hanap pa more. Sabi ni Cedar, nakakamiss talaga si Tatay Diggs. Pagdating sa mga ordinaryong Pilipino, talagang gagawa siya ng paraan para maharang yung mga mapagsamantala sa mga private companies. I agree with that one. Wait, sabi ni Ma'am Yani, 4Ps tinutulungan ng gobyerno samantalang ang mga TPWD at senior karampot lang binibigay ng gobyerno. Hindi po totoo yan. Okay, unang-una yung senior citizens discount, may discount din po 5% doon sa mga marginalized na senior citizens who consume 100 kilowatt hours or less. So meron po, huwag niyo namang sabihin wala. Hindi lang po 4Ps ang tinutulungan. Hindi ko alam kung wala naman din po sa kuryente doon sa mga PWDs. But PWDs have their discounts as well. Yun nga lang, baka hindi na pa enough para sa atin. Look, ganito, please understand. Marami sa atin mainit ang ulo, including myself, but we also have to understand na yung pagtataas ng presyo na to has nothing to do with Tatay Digong nagkagyera sa Middle East. So hanap pa more itong mga nasa kabilang panig ng paraan para mabintang siya. Thank you very much dun sa mga Ma'am Gracia, thank you pa rin. That's not true. Sabi ni Rudy Poo, they are a bunch of imposters. Every Filipinos are not spared by inflation. Every facet of society should receive financial aid. Actually, we don't need financial aid if the economy is good or kukonti na lang ang mga ngailangan ng financial aid. Look, the idea here is to help those who need the help. Okay? Hindi po, kasi kung lahat ng tao bibigyan nyo, it's the same effect as lahat ng tao hindi binigyan. Halimbawa, yung inflationary aspect niyan, kailangan i-compute ninyo. Whereas if you target only sectors of society, the ones that really need help. Now, the idea is to lift them out of poverty, not to just let them survive. Okay, survival is one thing. Siyempre, you do not want any of our fellow men dying unnecessarily. That's why the programs were all there. That was the Duterte governance. Kaya ang sarap ng buhay natin nung panahon ni Rodrigo Duterte because government spending went to where they were supposed to go. Well, for the most part, di naman natin sinasabing perfect ang administration ng PRD. But the government spending was good in the sense that, look, we had 100 million per month to PGH alone, meaning those who really needed help with regard to dun sa kanilang healthcare, they were getting it. Okay, now why healthcare? Because we spend a lot on that one. Doon talaga na-wipe out yung mga pamilya. Even middle-class families can get wiped out and be reduced to poverty by a single family member with a serious disease. So, yan po yung yan po so you lift them out of poverty. Pag sila po nakagraduate yung mga anak nila, yung buong pamilya magbe-benefit, but not just the family, all of us. Bakit? Dadagdag, lalaki yung tax base, meaning mas marami ang nagbabayad ng buwis. Mas kokonti ang magiging dependent doon sa mga ayuda. Mas mababawasan yung magiging dependent doon sa mga serbisyo ng gobyerno na pwede naman makuha sa private sector. Okay. Ma'am Beth, wala pong ganyan. Wag naman po tayo mang-iinsulto na mahirap. Di talaga daw siya sang-ayon sa 4Ps na yan, ginagawa lang batugan. Ma'am, hindi po ganyan. Ang idea sa 4Ps ay tulungan yung talagang sadsad, yung talagang nangangailangan. Now, kaya kayo galit is because sometimes in certain places may corruption at yung mga nabibigyan ng subsidy ay yung mga kamag-anak ng mga local officials and so on. Yun yung dapat natin ikagalit, yung corruption. Dahil isipin nyo, patulan nila pati yung 500, 300 pesos na ibinibigay para makatapos ng pag-aaral ng mga bata. Hindi po yan binibigyan yung mga families that can afford to feed themselves already. Ang binibigyan po yung mga talagang mahihirapan to get to put food on the table. Huwag naman po natin ipagkait yung mga taong hindi makakakain kung wala iyon. But it is not supposed to be a permanent subsidy either. It's not supposed to be a permanent handout. Ang purpose niyan is to make sure that the minor children are able to finish school. Yun yung condition. These are conditional cash transfers. Hindi yan handout. Hindi yan binibigay just because they're poor. Bibigyan, halimbawa, ng 300 pesos per month per child that goes to elementary schools. Chine-check kung sino yung may attendance requirement yan. 500 pesos sa high school, 750 pesos sa college. These are not simple handouts, they are conditioned on the children going to school. Binibigyan din ang mothers who are lactating or pregnant mothers. So, may conditions yan. If these programs are corrupted by officials, the problem is the corruption, not the program. Hindi pa natin kaya, sir. Sabi niya, wouldn't it be better if Filipinos get free healthcare and at the same time every Filipino gets financial aid, just like here in the UK? Sure naman, yun naman talaga ang gusto natin. But the income disparity between the UK and the Philippines is just too big. So, dyan at dyan rin naman po tayo aabot. And in the meantime, can we just at least help yung mga kababayan natin who would otherwise die, if not immediately from starvation, in the long run from malnutrition? Because this is still a third world country. We are still looking at those problems. Malnutrition still exists. A lot of very poor children, they no longer have the benefit of full mental capacity, full intellectual capacity because abang bata pa sila, they do not get full nutrition. Yun ang kailangan din natin tinututukan. Ang dami nating problema and we are trying to solve the problems of the future. Para hindi na po umabot sa ganyan. Sir naman, sino bang may ayaw? Sino bang may ayaw na lahat may free healthcare? Sino ba yung may ayaw na magkakaroon ng subsidy o yung mga tinatawag na subsistence na handout? Just for living. Sino bang may ayaw noon? Lahat naman tayo gusto natin. But let's face the reality that the average, you know how small the formal employment sector is? What? 10 million? 20 million? Out of 110 million? Oh, di ba? Hindi ba? And that's where most of the taxes come from. So, there will be people who will just not be able to survive if it weren't for the 4Ps. And they are the targets. Pero, I understand why we are so angry. But let's direct the anger not at the poor people. They do not like to be poor. Nobody wants to be poor. Direct it at the people who keep us poor. And who are those people? Ayun, yung mga tumatanggap ng mga maleta. Diba? They are the ones who are telling us to get angry at poor people who cannot help being poor. Some people are poor because they got wiped out. The father or mother lose their jobs. Somebody gets sick. Dapat meron tayong kutsyon against all of those things. But we do not have unemployment benefits here. We do not get yung mga kumukolekta ng unemployment like in other countries. Oh, 'di ba? Dito, you lose your job, that's it. Kung wala kang savings, malas mo. So, what if that was you? These social services are to help, get rid of poverty again. Yung mga nagsasabi na isa ako doon na syempre hirap din tayo and we pay the bulk of our taxes. Mas gusto ko kung the bulk of the taxes goes to the ilan percentage lang of people who are among the ranks of billionaires or multi-millionaires. No, sir. Yung sinasabi nyo is if the poor get, then everybody should get. In that case, you will overstretch the finances of this government. Hindi permanent yung nakukuha nila. And siguro, if we were that rich, sure, why not? Pero why would you give to people who don't need it? Because right now, what we can address at most are needs, not wants. That is not equality, sir. For the longest time, tayo mga middle class nag-shoulder niyan. I agree. Tapos sila anak lang ng anak, kaya hayang buhay, ayaw mag-strive. Teka muna, sir. I disagree with that. For the longest time, anak sila ng anak because the services of the birth control was not made available to them. Napanood nyo ba yung The Spokes nung in-interview namin? Yung doctor who was working on national fertility rates? Napanood nyo po ba yon? Bumaba na po ang fertility rates, bumaba na po ang birth rates dito sa Pilipinas. And yes, ang mga hindi nagkakaanak lately are those who are in the marginalized sectors. Hindi nyo po ba napakinggan yon? Eye-opener yun para sa amin. So we really should stop sticking to these old adages. Alam nyo ba yon? Akala natin that is still true now. It's no longer true. Yung anak sila ng anak, hindi. The availability of birth control now allows them to control how many children, and many poor people are opting to not have children or to have at best just one. Okay? So wag naman po ganyan kasi you know who is encouraging us to be angry at the poor? It's the rich. Because as long as ang tinuturo natin ay ang mahihirap, we're not pointing a finger at the poor people who get at the rich people who get tax breaks. Remember train law? Remember? Bakit pinilit ni PRD yung train law na yon? Lalo na yung train 2. It's because there are certain corporations who are getting tax breaks as though the Filipino public were subsidizing their corporations. Sabi ni hindi na po yan totoo, Sir Chris. Sabi niya, pag no electricity, they have more babies. No po, hindi na nga po yan totoo. In the 60s, in the 70s, and maybe in the 80s, totoo po yan. Pero number one, di ba, with the availability, remember yung nagkaroon ng Supreme Court case regarding the availability of birth control? Because birth control is now more available, actually people are having less babies. So hindi na po yan yung mga they have babies, not bear. Kaya nga, you have to get with it. It's the 21st century. The things that we learned when we were kids, many of them are no longer true. Okay? Yung mga, pag walang kuryente, dumadami ang babies, hindi na po ngayon. Tignan nyo, ganito kainit. Sa tingin niyo pag walang kuryente, tapos ganito kainit, magkakaroon pa rin ng babies. Number one. Number two, the availability of birth control. Condoms are easy to get now. In the you have them in drugstores. You don't need reseta for that. You can get them, over the counter. Malaki po yung Also, awareness, sex education in many schools, they've helped, limit the ignorance. Sabi ni Paul, because it's so unfair, tayong middle class, we get into financial trouble when we are on our own. Sila may fallback. No, sir, they have no fallback. That's why we give them the 4-piece program. There is no fallback. If they get sick, that's it. Diba? How many poor people die because they cannot afford simple antibiotics? So, wag niyong isipin na ganun. But it is true, yes, we bear the burden of a large part of the tax burden because we do not tax the rich people enough. Let's not begrudge the poor what little is given to them. Let's begrudge the rich because they get so much. That's the reason galit tayo sa maleta. Because these people, they're stealing from us. Pero they encourage us to be angry at poor people who cannot help being poor. Yes, it is unfair that we bear the big burden of taxation. We should encourage bigger burdens imposed on the rich. Hindi sila mamamatay sa gutom eh. They can afford to lose, let's say, one car. But let's not get angry at the poor. Bakit sa kanila tayo nagagalit? Yung rich, may fallback sila. Sila yung dapat kinagagalitan ninyo because no matter what happens, mag-fail yung mga negosyo nila, may pera sila. But when the poor, they lose their businesses, they lose their jobs, they lose what? They won't eat. And yung subsidy, 300 pesos, sa totoo lang, you really think yayaman ang mga may 4-piece sa 300 pesos per month? Let's not let the horror stories dictate how we think about them because getting angry at the poor is only benefiting the rich. Nagreklamo din ako, sabi ni Torrent. Naalala ko ng panahon ng pandemic, nagrereklamo nanay ko kung bakit hindi daw siya nakakakuha ng ayuda noon. Ang tanong ko sa nanay ko, kulang pa ba ang 22,000 na pinapadala ko sa inyo? Natawa siya bigla. Share ko lang. I love the kwento. But your mom such a good sport ha, tumawa siya. Kudos to her. Pero ako, actually, tinanong din namin, during the pandemic, many of yung domestic help namin na iba kasi, they didn't used to live here. During the pandemic, I asked them to live here para kasi ang worry ko, pag hindi sila nakalabas sa mga bahay nila at hindi sila makaka-work, then baka magutom sila, magugutom pamilya nila. So, marami talaga akong pinatira dito. And sabi ko, kung mahirap ang ang lagay natin, at least magkakasama tayo. 'Di ba? At kung meron, whatever little we had, it went to, everybody, at least makakakain. Meron kaming bigas, nakakabili pa, we could afford it. Pero pag dumadaan yung sa ayuda, tinatanong namin, bakit hindi nyo man lang kami tinitigilan? Kasi tumanggap kami ng mga tao na nasa ibang, na who would normally have been left in their houses. Ang sabi nila, alam niyo yung basis? Malaki kasi yung bahay nyo eh. Ngik. Sabi ko, di pumiras tayo dyan sa bahan. Parang sabi ko, it did feel unfair. And yes, human ako, it did feel unfair. Pero inisip ko na lang, there were people talaga who would not have survived without that ayuda.